Hi, I'm Hillary from Lower Columbia School Gardens.
And I'm Ian from Lower Columbia School Gardens. And we are here at North Lake Elementary in the orchard. And this place was planted in 2010, so that's 11 years ago. And when it started out, this was the only school garden in town. And since then, we've started 20 other gardens, but it kind of all started here, and this is kind of the mothership. So here's where it all began. This is that first garden that was started in 2002. It was just, bare grass, and people started out with a couple little piles of dirt and some seeds. And now we're at, this place is an acre, and we've got 19 other gardens in town. So, and that's all the elementary and middle schools in our community now have a garden. So, yeah, it's been a really cool project. So we started out in that little garden up front, and we had, planted all the fruit trees and grapevines we could fit in that little place. And we were kind of bursting at the seams and looking out at this giant field that only got used once a year for field day. And so we, mapped out this orchard without a lot of experience. And that was literally looking at the Raintree catalog, for months and making all these decisions, and finally made a big order and had a big work party February of 2010 and planted, 60 or more trees and a bunch of other stuff here. I mean, the project sort of started out mostly as, a veggie garden. And there was this one family that came and planted a couple grapevines along one of the fences. And, September came around and kids are back in school, and there's enough food on this fence for every kid to eat something. And we're like, wow, this is really kind of where it's at. And just, realizing how much food comes out of perennials without all sort of the fussing that it takes to grow veggies. And so that was kind of the inspiration for this, hazelnuts, apples, Asian pears, plums, pawpaws, figs, mulberries, all that stuff. It's really a neat thing to be out here because we can clearly remember, when this was just kind of a parched field with these little sticks, these little baby trees that didn't look like they were going to amount to anything. So it's pretty cool to really be, having really abundant harvests. This is plums right here, and this is a ring of hazelnuts that go around this tree. I think we've got probably 7 varieties of hazelnuts around that big maple. This is one of our favorite trees, pawpaw, also custard apple or soursop. This is a Pennsylvania golden, and of the 3 we have, this is fruits the most, but it's a little bit of a pain. We actually, hand pollinate it with a paintbrush. But the fruit's incredible. And I remember choosing this out of the catalog 11 years ago. I'd never seen a pawpaw, or I don't even think heard of one, but it just sounded really cool. And then, since then we've been sort of learning and thinking a lot about the fact that it's, an indigenous, food with a lot of indigenous history, and it's the largest tree fruit native to North America. So yeah, just really cool, delicious. And most people that see this tree, have never seen it. So that's just a fun, it's interesting. Kids love it. So these grapevines in these rows, these are probably, I think they're at least 10 years old, and really producing a ton. We just love grapes around here. As soon as we start a garden, one of the first things we'll do is put grapes, grow them along the chain link fences, that sort of thing. And just the abundance, we just put a bunch of these in the cafeteria the other day, and an entire school, every kid got to taste grapes off of just a few vines. So they're just amazing plants, easy to propagate. We do that a lot. So for our wider program, it all kind of started here, and this is the biggest place. This place is about an acre. But there's 19 other gardens out there. And in those gardens, total there's like 240 fruit trees and a couple hundred grapevines, a couple hundred blueberry bushes. So kind of combined, there's a pretty significant harvest, a lot of food for the community. So this is our nursery area where we propagate a lot of plants from, cuttings and also from seed. And to keep those little baby plants from getting fried from the sun, we planted fruit trees and have grapevines trellised over the top to kind of create, instead of shade cloth, to kind of keep those babies cool. So we're in that original garden that was started back in 2002. And some of the first perennials that got planted were some grapevines along the fence, and they just became the most valuable things in the garden. And I mean, they're just incredible. I think this is a Suffolk Red, which is a really delicious one. And yeah, we just love the shade and the beauty and the harvest.
So, my name is Hillary. You already knew that part. I'm a garden coordinator and also a horticultural coordinator here at School Gardens. I get to help decide with the knowledge of the rest of our team as well, which varieties we're going to grow each season. We've been having to narrow it down to about 6 varieties of tomato and I don't know, 10 total varieties of pepper, even though we would really love to have so many more varieties. But keeping it kind of consistent so that we can make sure we know we have varieties that we really like and that kids really enjoy eating. I also do some seed saving from some of the open pollinated varieties that we grow, and solicit companies for seed donations. There's some amazing seed growers in our area, in the Pacific Northwest especially. We really appreciate their generosity. This past year, we grew about 20,000 seedlings in a shared greenhouse over at Three Rivers Elementary School, and we use those for planting in all of our gardens. But also we have a plant sale each spring, and then we also give away a lot of plants over the course of the spring and even through the summer, for people that are interested in growing their own food. So, yeah. Something that's really important to us as well is acknowledging the fact that this is land that has been historically and currently stewarded by the Cowlitz people, and without the work that they've done and continue to do, our programs wouldn't exist. So that's important for us to share.
Yeah, for sure. And this whole program is really it's community driven. There's sort of a misconception sometimes that the school districts are executing this program, but really it's the community that is making it happen. Donating the money, volunteering their time, and it's just been really an awesome journey for this little town to go from one little garden to now a garden in every school, and all the good things that go along with that, food and all that stuff. So if we always we welcome supporters and volunteers. So if you'd like to get involved, find us on the internet, Lower Columbia School Gardens, and we'd love to see you. And thanks for coming.
Yeah, thanks for coming and joining us for this little tour.
Yeah, take care. Come see us.